for?
Welcome to another episode of the HeatStrokes podcast.
I should have yelled too.
Hosted by Brady Kannon, presented by Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Get ready to experience golf as you've never seen and heard it before.
The price is wrong.
Through the lens of Brady's experienced eye as he braves the toughest courses in the West under the scorching Las Vegas heat. Your course reviews, expert PGA analysis, and top weekly golf betting strategies are teed up and ready to fire. Here's your starter, Brady Kannon.
It is deadheatgolf.com, home to the HeatStrokes podcast, presented by Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Welcome in, everybody, to episode number 18. I'm Brady Kannon, and I will be your host solo today, but we will have a friend of mine and former golf handicapping partner, Wes Reynolds, along to contribute his guest picks for the Wyndham Championship, the final event of the PGA Tour's regular season. But before we get to all of that, we have a golf course to review today, and that will be the Revere Golf Club in Henderson, Nevada, high atop the hills in the Anthem area. The Revere sits about 25 minutes off the Strip, tremendous views, panoramic vistas of the entire Las Vegas Valley and the Las Vegas Strip. The Revere Golf Club opened back in 1999, and it's actually a 36-hole property. The Lexington course was first, and then the Concord course followed in 2002. I mentioned both courses have massive panoramic views. That's because they feature a great deal of elevation change. And famous golfer and three-time major championship winner Billy Casper was the designer, along with golf architect Greg Nash. The Lexington course is the more challenging of the two, a bit narrower off the tee, some narrower golf shots that you have to negotiate, some more carries over raw desert. The Concord fairways are pretty wide, and they have some mounding on the edges that will kick an errant shot back towards the fairway. And I think it's good to have that mix of level of difficulty. It gives you a little taste of some different, not necessarily different styles, but you know, if you want to take on a more difficult course one day and soften it up a little bit the next, and then you've got the pleasing views that they both feature so eloquently from from start to finish, I should say, from the first hole till the very last. And you can see some of the graphics here, just absolutely stunning views of really maybe the most expansive views of the entire valley and the Las Vegas Strip. Both courses are very good for both local and resort play. I like to say that visitors to town get a semi-high-end property with the Revere. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, not quite as fancy as some of your $300, $400, $500, $600 golf courses, but it does have that upscale feel, very classy service, all the amenities, a fantastic golf shop. And boy, what a wonderful view from the restaurant inside the clubhouse. I've had Easter brunch here before, and there's a huge window that runs down the entire wall of the clubhouse, looking over the valley and the Las Vegas Strip. It's got to be the very best restaurant view inside a golf course clubhouse in all of town. Both courses play to a par 72, and they both measure over 7,000 yards from the tips, with a number of different tee boxes to choose from. Just a great property all the way around, and it's a bonus that you get 36 holes to choose from. My favorite holes at the Revere Golf Club, I've got one from each course. I really like number 17 on the Lexington course and number 18 on the Concord course. Now, number 17 on the Lexington course is a par 3. It measures just about 160 yards from the tips. Not a real beast of a hole. But before you get to that hole, there are some beasts of some holes, some big par 4s and some big par 5s. Now, number 17 in the Lexington is the number 15 handicap. So it does give you a little bit of a breather after a tough stretch of holes. It's a par 3, as I mentioned, about 160 yards from the tips, a little bit slightly uphill. There's a water feature that you've got to carry there, but it does certainly give you an opportunity for par and a possible birdie if you can strike a really good iron shot off the tee box. Club selection is key on number 17 on the Lexington. But again, I like the way this finishes up, where you've got a rough stretch coming in. And I don't think the 18th hole is particularly difficult as well. So it's a nice little respite from a gauntlet that you go through the last few holes prior to 17 and 18 on the Lexington course. Now, number 18 on the Concord is a big hole. And by big, I mean wide and long. And everything is downhill, so you can really bomb the tee shot. It's a pretty wide fairway, as I mentioned, and even describing this course, everything will tend to kick back towards the middle. So you've got some room off the tee there. But the second shot is where it becomes a little tricky. You've got a canyon running right in front of the green. And so you've got to negotiate that second shot a little bit if you're going to go for the green or not. I would say par is certainly attainable here. Birdie can be difficult, but I love the risk-reward nature of exactly that decision that you really have to make with your second shot. And typically, as is the case, I'm sure, with 17 on Lexington, but also here, of course, on 18 on the Concord, some bets are going to be on the line, and a big par 5 like this with that risk reward nature is certainly a good one to finish with. Both finishing stretches here, and interesting at the Concord too. You finish with the number 5 handicap, the number 1 handicap, and then the 18th hole is the number 7 handicap. It just feels easier, I think, because of that ability to bomb that tee shot. But both really good finishing stretches at both of these golf courses. As I have said, this is a very classy, fun course to play. A semi-high-end resort is what I like to classify it as. The Revere Golf Club, of course, both the Lexington and the Concord courses. The Lexington being a bit more challenging, the Concord being a bit more forgiving. Beautiful clubhouse, all the amenities, only about 25 minutes from the Strip. It's really got everything you're looking for, and it's not cost prohibitive either. In peak season, you're going to pay anywhere from about $125 to $200 per player. And right now in the summertime, you can play for $100 or well under that. And then local rates for local residents, usually in the neighborhood of $50 to $80. I think it's very fairly priced. And like I say, a real nice option if you're not coming to Las Vegas and looking for that $300, $400, $500, $600 or more golf experience. Now, you can find the Revere Golf Club online at reveregolf.com or also on our website at deadheatgolf.com as one of our featured courses. And you can also give them a call at 702-617-5710 and tell them the fellas from the HeatStrokes podcast sent you. We will take a quick break and be back with our picks for the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. But before we do, a quick word from our terrific sponsors, Play Studios, Bassent Realty, Las Vegas Advisor, and footballcontest.com. And don't forget to use the promo code HEAT at checkout at footballcontest.com to save $50. Football contest signups going on in Las Vegas right now, and only for about another 5 or 6 weeks. Football right around the corner, so that door about to close on contest signups. Make sure you log on to footballcontest.com and use the promo code HEAT to save $50. We'll be right back with more of the HeatStrokes podcast presented by Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas in just a moment.
When the HeatStrokes crew isn't burning up the hottest golf courses in the country, playing a game you'd all spend a lifetime trying to master, they're doing something just as smoking, but a whole lot easier. They're playing My Vegas Slots. It's a top-ranked, free-to-play mobile app that lets you earn valuable real-world rewards from some amazing partners like MGM Grand, Bellagio, and Norwegian Cruise Line. You can score rooms, great meals, show tickets, and more just for playing. Download My Vegas Slots today from your favorite app store. And if you're anything like Brady and Matt, we know you're going to love it. And that's something you can bet on. Want to gamble like the pros? At LasVegasAdvisor.com, you'll find the world's best how-to books, software, and strategy cards featuring blackjack, poker, video poker, tournament play, and of course, sports betting, including 2020 sports betting. Think like a pro, which contains an 85-page section on betting golf. And don't forget to check out LVA's famous Member Rewards coupon book, offering discounts on dining and entertainment, including a buy one, get one for the awesome lobster buffet at the Palms, and more than $400 in gambling, free play, match play, and bonus offers. Up your gambling game today at LasVegasAdvisor.com. That's LasVegasAdvisor.com. Attention, all real estate buyers, sellers, and investors. Are you looking for a trustworthy and experienced team to help you navigate the Las Vegas, Southern Nevada market? Look no further than Bassent Realty Group, specializing in residential, commercial, and investment properties. With over 9 years of experience in the industry, we have the knowledge and skills to help you find the perfect property or investment opportunity. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we're committed to providing exceptional service and delivering results. Contact us today to take the first step towards achieving your real estate goals in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada. Call now, 702-339-8052, or go to BassentRealty.com. Have you ever wanted to play in one of the biggest football contests in Las Vegas and win $1 million or more? At footballcontest.com, find out how to sign up and make your picks through Nevada's most experienced proxy service. You do the handicapping, we do the legwork, and our service is a convenience for both locals and non-residents alike. Over the past decade, thousands have trusted footballcontest.com as their proxy service and have collected winnings of over $10 million. Whether you're a fan of 5 picks against the spread or survivor pools, footballcontest.com has all the information you need to get started. You pick the winners, we submit your picks. It's that easy at footballcontest.com.
Mandalay Bay comes alive as the Fan District, the go-to destination for all of fankind. Gather here, stay here, eat here, and celebrate here. Fans get exclusive food and drink specials and one-of-a-kind experiences loaded with giveaways, photo ops, surprise appearances, and more. And the best part? It's all within walking distance of the stadium. Get the party started or keep the party going at the Fan District. Welcome back to the HeatStrokes podcast presented by Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. I am Brady Kannon, flying solo today, and it is time to get to our picks for the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina, the final event of the PGA Tour's regular season and the last opportunity to get into that top 70 on the FedEx Cup points list. If you are outside of the top 70 at the conclusion of the Wyndham, your season is over. If you are at number 70 or inside of that, the postseason will begin for you and an opportunity to take home that FedEx Cup. Now, as far as this golf course, the Sedgefield Country Club, home to the Wyndham Championship for many years now, it is a smaller positional golf course where accuracy will trump distance. Approach play is going to be huge this week, and especially from 100 to 175 yards. That's where the bulk of the approach shots will come from. The greens are Bermuda grass, and they do feature some undulation. Putting and short game will be very important this week. This is a Donald Ross design, and if you're familiar with Ross designs, he has those runoff areas around the greens, so chipping and scrambling and getting up and down will be very important when you miss the green in regulation this week. It is a par 70. You've got 2 par 5s, 4 par 3s, and 12 par 4s, so par 4 scoring will be another very important ingredient to success this week, and most of the par 4s are going to fall between 400 and 450 yards. Scoring can also be very low here. I wouldn't call it a full-fledged birdie fest, although we have seen a number of very low rounds in the past. In fact, Brandt Snedeker went on to win a handful of years ago and opened with a 59 on Thursday. Your pre-tournament proposition bet for under-over on the winning score was 259.5. So that translates into 20.5 under par. So certainly some birdies are going to have to be made. And I did look at birdies or better gained as well in my handicap this week. Efficiency and accuracy off the tee, strong approach play, the ability to scramble, get up and down when you do miss the green, strong putting, and then make a lot of birdies ought to be a very good recipe for success here at the Wyndham Championship. It's also a very predictive course in terms of course history and players that have had success on the correlated courses. And for the correlated courses this week, I used TPC Sawgrass, where they play, of course, the Players Championship, TPC River Highlands, where they play the Travelers Championship, TPC Potomac, where they played the Wells Fargo in 2022, East Lake Golf Club, where they play the Tour Championship, Innisbrook, where they play the Valspar, also Harbortown, where they play the RBC Heritage, and then finally the Sea Island Golf Club, where they play the RSM Classic. All these courses very similar, and the correlation that they have to one another, you'll find a great deal of crossover success with those courses and the Wyndham Championship. Let's now get to our guest picks for the Wyndham Championship. And for that, we bring in my friend Wes Reynolds of VSiN, the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Wes and I used to, of course, host a lot of shows together at VSiN. You can now find him on Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time, hosting a show with my HeatStrokes podcast cohort, Matt Youmans. And you can follow Wes on Twitter at Wes Reynolds 1. We will start with Wes's picks for an outright winner, and he has got 8 of them. Denny McCarthy at 25-1. JT Poston, a near-miss loser last week at the 3M Open, at 33-1. Aaron Rai at 40-1. Alex Smalley at 45-1. Brendan Todd at 55-1. Adam Svensson at 66-1. Adam Schenk at 80-1, and his biggest bomb on Alex Noren at 86-1. And then he's got a few plays as well for finish position markets. And we'll start with the top 20 rather. Russell Henley, a pre-tournament favorite this week at even money to finish top 20, and also Siwoo Kim at plus 120. Both Henley and Siwoo Kim have had a great deal of success here in the past at the Wyndham. And then back to Denny McCarthy at plus 145 for a top 20 finish. And then back to JT Poston for a top 30 finish at plus 110. And finally, a plethora of plays for top 40 finish from Wes. Alex Smalley at minus 105, Cam Davis at minus 105, Adam Hadwin at plus 105, Aaron Rai at plus 115, Adam Schenk at plus 125, Doug Gim at plus 130, Brendan Todd at plus 115, Adam Svensson at plus 115, Eric Cole at plus 160, quite a number for a top 40 finish there. Lucas Glover at plus 155, and back to Alex Noren also at plus 160 for a top 40 finish. And then finally, a couple of full tournament head-to-head matchups for Wes. Russell Henley at minus 145 over Shane Lowry. Sungjae Im at minus 155 over Sam Burns. 25 plays in all from Mr. Reynolds. We hope he cashes a few tickets there for you with his selections. And now we will get to my picks and a little smaller card for myself. As you know, always the outrights and the top 20 finishes. I played each of these players to finish in the top 20 and also win the tournament. And I'll just give you the full winning the tournament odds. Sungjae Im at 20-1. Sungjae Im has played here 4 times, and 3 times he's finished in the top 10. Over the last 36 rounds, he is 8th in this field for birdies or better gained, and 6th in the strokes gained on the par 4s, measuring 400 to 450 yards. He was 6th this year at the Players Championship. He was 7th this year at Harbortown. He has finished 4th before at the Valspar, and he was 2nd last year at the Tour Championship at East Lake. I am also like Wes on Denny McCarthy. I've got him at 28-1. Over the last 36 rounds, he's 6th in this field for birdies or better gained, and he is number 1 on the par 4s from 400 to 450 yards. Also 16th in scrambling and 16th in strokes gained putting on Bermuda grass. He's finished 9th here at the Wyndham before. That was in 2020, and also 9th at the Valspar in 2019. This season, he was 7th at the Travelers at TPC River Highlands and 13th at TPC Sawgrass. Now into a little bit bigger numbers here. Chris Kirk at 50-1, maybe the very best player in this field with the short irons from 100 to 175 yards. He's won the RSM Classic at Sea Island, as well as finished fourth there twice before. He was 7th at Harbor Town in 2021, and he has also finished 4th in the past at East Lake for the Tour Championship. Like Wes, I'm also on Brendan Todd. I've got him at 55-1, one of the very most accurate drivers of the golf ball in this field. He was just second at the John Deere Classic a few weeks ago. He's got a 10th here at the Wyndham. That was in 2021. He's been as high as 4th at the RBC Heritage, 11th at the Travelers, and 4th at Sea Island. And then finally, I am also on Adam Schenk like Wes. I got him at triple digits at 100-1, having his best year on tour of his career. And that includes a runner-up finish at the Valspar, a runner-up at Colonial, a 7th at the Memorial, a 4th at the John Deere, and a 7th at the Rocket Mortgage recently, which, by the way, is also another Donald Ross design. Over the last 36 rounds, he's 7th in this field for strokes gained approach, 8th on the par 4s, and 3rd in hole proximity from 150 to 175 yards. And then 2 full tournament head-to-head matchups for you. I'm back on Adam Schenk here. I got him at even money over Alex Noren. And then Davis Riley at -110 over Sam Ryder. And for our Pizza Money Play of the Week, brought to you by Dom DeMarco's Pizzeria and Bar right here in the Summerlin area in Las Vegas, I'm going with Justin Thomas at +160 to miss the cut. Thomas is currently 79th in the FedEx Cup standings, meaning he would miss the playoffs as it stands right now. This is a must-win game for JT, and you know what they say about a must-win situation. If you're in one, you must not be playing too well, and I think that's the case absolutely for JT. Normally one of the best scramblers in the game, currently 148th on tour in scrambling, 138th on tour in driving accuracy, and 158th on tour in strokes gained putting. He has missed the cut in 5 out of his last 7 starts. And I give the guy a bunch of credit. He's been really trying his tail off to turn this thing around and turn the corner and, make some impressive points for the Ryder Cup captain, Zach Johnson, and try and get into the postseason, but it just hasn't worked. And I don't think you can just flip a switch like that. We often talk about it in football. You get to a must-win game at the end of the season, and that must mean you're not that good. And I know JT's pretty good, but he's not playing too well right now. And I think he's going to miss yet another cut here at the Wyndham Championship. So again, for our Dom DeMarco's Pizza Money Play of the Week, Justin Thomas to miss the cut at +160. That is going to do it for our show today. Another edition of the HeatStrokes podcast. Thank you to Wes Reynolds for joining us today and contributing his guest picks for the Wyndham Championship. In case you need to revisit, get all the information and the picks, it will be up on our website at deadheatgolf.com momentarily, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, a little bit later this evening, the video version will be up on YouTube. You can check out my YouTube channel at HeatStrokes Podcast. I want to thank our crew, Tom Catlin on video, Jeremiah Crow with Green Roll Media on the audio, and Trifco on the creative design. We'll be back at this time next week for a review of another golf course and also our preview of the FedEx St. Jude Classic in Memphis, Tennessee, round 1 of the FedEx Cup playoffs. I encourage you all to go check out the Revere Golf Club the next time you're in Las Vegas. A very enjoyable experience. Let's cash some tickets this week at the Wyndham Championship. And folks, as we always do here on the HeatStrokes podcast, we encourage everyone to stay hot.
You've been dialed into the HeatStrokes podcast with Brady Kannon, presented by Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, and produced in conjunction with Green Roll Media, the world's premier sports betting podcast network.
Subscribing to the show on YouTube is easy. Just search HeatStrokes Podcast. Follow us on social media at Las Vegas Golfer and at HeatStrokes Pod.
If you like what you heard, please follow, like, and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify today. Good luck out there sinking birdies at Cash and Tickets. Cash and Tickets. We'll see you next week.